8 months ago, Apple changed the world with Apple Vision Pro. And for the first time, all of us experienced Vision OS and spatial computing, and everyone came to the exact same conclusion, which is that this thing is too dang expensive. So Apple has eaten up all of our opinions and feedback, and they're digesting them right now, and next year we'll probably see what comes out the other end. But in today's video, we're talking about that digestion process. Ew. Let's begin. So Mark Gurman's Bloomberg, who has a somewhat reputable track record, told us that there's several different avenues Apple may take down the road with future Apple Vision devices, some of which I think a lot of you would be more interested in. So the obvious one, yes, of course, is just make a different version of the Apple Vision Pro that is cheaper. There's a lot of easy ways they can do that. They could use cheaper displays because the ones they used in Apple Vision Pro were incredibly high resolution, and even after using lower resolution displays, like the ones on the Meta Quest 3, I think, yeah, this is still immersive. Like, they could definitely go lower. They could also, of course, take out the curved lenticular eyesight display. I know it's probably not a giant overall cost to Apple Vision Pro, but I feel like it just weakens the battery life unnecessarily, and at the very least adds a lot of weight to the device, which was a big complaint from a lot of people wearing Apple Vision Pro. It's just uncomfortable to wear for long periods of time because of how heavy it is. So, of course, they could use cheaper materials, not necessarily just to save on cost, but also to make the weight more comfortable. Kind of use the same sort of plastic that you find in AirPods right now, just for something that's on your face now instead of aluminum. And Mark Gurman is saying that they're working on a cheaper version of the Apple Vision Pro. Maybe they won't call it Pro anymore, but if all goes well, that may launch at the end of next year. So about a year from when we're talking right now about it, but that's assuming a lot of things go according to plan. This is new territory for Apple. It's kind of a whole new product category. So lots of things could change and be delayed. It's not a very strict, rigid timeline like it is with, MacBook launches or iPhone launches, where you can kind of expect them around the same time each year. But Gurman says that if they do go the headset route and just make a cheaper version of what's already out there, they're probably going to wait until the Apple M5 chip is available. So they're going to leapfrog not just the M3, but also the M4, and hopefully actually have some Apple Intelligence features on that one. I don't understand why they can't put Apple Intelligence on Apple Vision Pro. Already has the M2 chip, and we've proven that Apple Intelligence can run on the M1 chip, which is even slower and older. But yeah, maybe the M2 chip is just too occupied with all of the spatial computing processing, so there's no RAM left over for Apple Intelligence. But you know for a fact they definitely want to bring Visual Intelligence, which is basically just Apple's version of Google Lens, over to a vision-based device like an Apple Vision Pro or Air, Apple Vision SE, whatever they feel like calling it. Just makes way too much sense that you could have like automatic pop-ups for everything you're looking around on. But as we all know, it's gonna be rather difficult to actually get to a point where you would want to use Visual Intelligence with an Apple Vision product, because you'd have to start wearing it like in public and around strangers. And while there's some weirdo techies out there that have already done that, we know the average everyday consumer is not gonna be doing that. And that's where I think another product that may not be the dream product, of course, of just like a lightweight small pair of glasses that don't look like a tech product but just ever so happen to have augmented reality features so that you can use Vision OS anywhere you are, but instead of using a bunch of cameras and LiDAR to stitch together reality on the inside of that headset, instead it's just a transparent display, kind of like what Meta was showcasing most recently with their like public prototype that they don't plan on selling. I'm sure Apple has a very similar goal, of course, but a more affordable product that they could also knock off from Meta would be more like the Ray-Ban glasses. So something that doesn't necessarily have augmented reality displays that you're looking through, but they're just fashionable glasses that you could get with a prescription, and they could be sunglasses as well, but they're still smart. Like a fashionable way essentially to integrate cameras onto your glasses so that you could take pictures with them. They even have microphones and little speakers on them so you can talk with hopefully a smarter Siri once that officially launches. And Meta was able to make those glasses work for only just a couple $100. I'm sure Apple would make theirs more expensive, but probably also make it feel a little bit more premium and work, as all their products do, more seamlessly within the Apple ecosystem. So our good friend Nick from the Tailosive Tech podcast recently talked about his experience with the Meta Ray-Bans, and he's a pretty hardcore Apple sheep. You know, he subscribes to Apple One, he got the black titanium Apple Watch Ultra and everything. Far bigger Apple sheep, in my opinion, in more ways than one, than I am, certainly, and he's been quite impressed with the Meta Ray-Bans. And I think if Apple made their own, probably a little bit more of a premium price point, but having a way to take photos with just a single click or just using your voice, and you don't have to keep one hand free to hold the phone to take the selfie or to take a picture of your surroundings. It's definitely more of a point of view segment, but have those photos and videos automatically show up on your iCloud library, so you don't have to like transfer them between a Meta app and the Apple Photos app. Plus, you wouldn't have to use Meta's AI built into the glasses. Hopefully, they'd be powered by Apple Intelligence and everything, but again, a problem with this type of device that would probably be around $1,000, hopefully less. Remember, this is Apple. They're not willing to lose money on their hardware sales like Meta is of course, well, in order to have that large language model version of Siri, wouldn't you need to have a pretty powerful chip on these glasses? They couldn't have that great a battery life if they had to somehow have an A18 chip up there. Well, that ties into another rumor that Mark Gurman is floating around. He's saying that they're also experimenting with glasses or goggles that most of the heavy lifting is being done by the iPhone rather than being its own separate independent device, which I thought a lot about back when I was reviewing Apple Vision Pro. I was like, we're already carrying around this silver aluminum brick in our pockets for Apple Vision Pro. Why not just design the headset maybe to be a little lower powered, but it could plug in directly to the iPhone, and then it doesn't have to have its own integrated, M2 and R1 chips, and you have to carry around your iPhone and this big battery bank like you do with Apple Vision Pro. No, the iPhone battery is getting pretty big already, and it's already got Type-C. Maybe that could allow higher output from the USB-C port itself. Definitely wouldn't work on the existing Apple Vision Pro hardware because that one is much more power hungry than what our iPhones can output. But if you scale it down a little bit, maybe simplify the headset and maybe not have to power two super bright displays with super high resolutions on the inside, but instead maybe go with a little bit more of a smarter glasses route and have a clean, hopefully lightweight way of getting a cable down from these glasses onto your iPhone. Maybe that could unlock some functionality and some augmented reality experiences that feel a little bit more immersive and can let the very powerful and very big battery in my iPhone do more of the heavy lifting rather than expect the headset to do everything itself. That idea makes a lot more sense to me because I know that a lot of people assume augmented reality glasses are supposed to replace the smartphone, including Mark Zuckerberg, which I just fundamentally disagree with. I think that AR glasses, even if they were perfect, even if they were super lightweight and infinitely powerful, they would still have an incredibly hard time taking selfies or doing video calls, which are very, very common use cases of our smartphones. Also, with augmented reality and tapping away with your fingers or reaching out on a virtual keyboard, you can just never type quite as fast or as efficiently as you can with a little QWERTY keyboard on a smartphone, and it's just always going to be more gimmicky and more difficult for people to learn, I think, to try to type in a virtual sense compared to just having a small little object to type on. Plus, anything that's lightweight that has to rest on your face is never going to have that great of a battery life. Even AirPods, which are just playing sound, struggle to get more than 5 to 6 hours on a charge, whereas our iPhones, because they're these big rectangular bricks in our pockets, they can easily last all day. And again, those are getting cheaper and cheaper every single year. And augmented reality glasses are always going to have this battle between how little battery life can we get away with and how low weight can we get them to be comfortable. And like many people online have already said, there's already a ton of people that prefer wearing contacts because they don't want to fuss around with wearing glasses. So we've still got a long, long ways to go, in my opinion, before AR glasses actually start to give smartphones a run for their money, if ever. But that doesn't mean these tech companies shouldn't try, and I think Apple could send a good message to Meta, who doesn't rely very heavily on smartphone sales, whereas Apple does, that hey, we could develop far better, far more capable augmented reality glasses that work in tandem with our smartphones. You know, it could enhance the smartphone experience so that Apple shareholders don't feel like, hey, why are you designing products that are going to kill off, your best seller, your bread and butter, the iPhone? Well, Apple could probably showcase like, no, the future is going to be glasses that assist and enhance the smartphone experience, not replace it. At least that would allow more people to wear these glasses, access features like Apple Intelligence or visual intelligence, but you still have to carry around an iPhone iPhone, you know? And maybe these glasses are going to be so power hungry that your iPhone battery drains faster. All the more reason to go out and buy the best battery life of any iPhone, like the iPhone 16 Pro Max. So in the end, Apple will still probably want you buying all of their products and accessories. They're not going to overlap too much, but what do you guys think Apple should do? What kind of lineup can you envision for Apple Vision products in the future? Feel free to let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And thank you to everybody supporting this channel directly. It seriously helps us out a ton, as does just watching these videos. So thanks again. This is your Apple Sheep here, and I will see you all in the next one.